Hello, welcome back to my Flosstube channel. My name is Phoebe. This is episode number 93. I do updates about every 2 weeks for this Flosstube channel of everything that I've been stitching on, everything I plan to start stitching on. Today I have a finish. I have a couple of FFOs, that's fully finished objects, and I have a new start. No, I have 2 new starts. And lots of whips from Stitchy games. I love to play Stitchy games and generally just have fun because life's too serious otherwise, so we don't need to take our cross stitch all that seriously. So that's what we're going to be chatting about today, and if you hang around till the very end of the video after I talk about plans, I will also talk about some books that I've read in the last 2 weeks. So I hope you've been doing really well. We're gonna wait and set up for Christmas after Thanksgiving, and I know this is crazy, but I think we're going to make pizza for Thanksgiving. My kids are really not that into Thanksgiving food. I do love a good, like, regular traditional Thanksgiving meal, but I think we're gonna make our own dough and do pizzas this year, so that's gonna be fun. And we're just gonna kind of stay in. I have a couple of sickos at home. Sickies? We have the sickies around our house, so I think we're just gonna not spread germs for the most part and just keep it real chill. So that's what our Thanksgiving is looking like coming up, and I hope you and yours are well. And let's go ahead and talk stitching. So I'm gonna start with my fully finished objects. Basically, I just framed 3 things that you've seen me finish at some time in the last year. Here is the first one. This is Owl Forest Embroidery Red Cardinal sampler. And I just got this wall hanging at Hobby Lobby. It had these flowers in it, and I just framed it right over top of it. So, because I didn't want the glass, and the flowers are like in the glass or something. So, yep. So there's that. This is stitched on a Fabric and Flare piece of green. It says historic green, and I used all the called for threads, amazingly provided to me by Shelly, and I love it. It's on 40 count, and now it is up on my wall for the holiday. So that is super fun. The next one that I spent a little time framing was my Paisley pumpkin from Rosewood Manor. So I was like, I better hurry up and get this thing framed because it's about to be done being pumpkin time. And this took me so long to stitch, and then I got so much stitching done on it during the Big Brother game that I got it all finished. And then when I went to go frame it, I was like, man, this thing is actually kind of small. Like, here's my hand. But it took so long because it's really kind of a lot of ninja stitches. So this is just, I don't remember. I think I got this frame at the thrift store, and it has, like, I can do it like that, or right now I have it hanging on the wall. So I like the distressed edges, and it's really nice. So this is Rosewood Manor Paisley Pumpkin with all of the called for DMC, which the blends are just so awesome. So this one is fun, but was surprisingly time consuming. My third piece is Bethlehem from Imaginating. This one again has a distressed frame. I just got this one at the thrift store too, and it is 36 count, dyed by me. And then this is a navy blue sulky thread that I used, and I really do not love stitching with sulky all that much because it twists like crazy, but I wanted to try it. So now I have this hanging up and ready for my Christmas decorations, and I really love this design. I just think it's so great. So, yep, love that, and I think that's all there is to say about that. So because it's on 36 count with the sulky thread, which is thicker, it is just 1/2 on that fabric. Okay, as for my finish, this is another finish due to a Stitchy game, and this is Reflets Soie Coquelicots, and this is a Biscornu, well, it's an intended Biscornu finish. So I will do that. That'll be my first Biscornu to finish. But I'm not ready to tackle that quite yet, but I will soon. But I just love this design so much. So Heidi from Whips and Kits and I started this together when we were in Paris a couple summers ago. And this is using all of the called for Soie d'Alger. And it is just, I just love how this looks. It's so vibrant. The greens chosen are just so juicy. And then we've got these soft sages and of course the bright poppy colors. It's so, so great. So one of the players for my Survivor game got voted out. So this got 500 stitches, and then I would say it was probably like 200 or 300 stitches needed, and then it was just gonna be done. So I just finished it up. So this is on a piece of 40 count linen that I dyed. It is kind of a sagey gray, like a very, very light sagey green gray. And so there's that. So whenever I take the time to finish this into a Biscornu, you will see it again. But for now, this is my first Reflet de Soie finish. This is my third. So I have 3 starts from this designer, and I love her. I love everything from her, but this is my first finish. So there's how that one looks and turned out. So it's on 40 count, so it's 1/2 with the really nice thick Soie d'Alger. All right, so we're gonna move into whips or works in progress now. So here is my 2 strands a day stitching. I'm stitching on Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow from Carriage House Samplings. And so as you can see, I'm about halfway done because there's a whole 3rd row. So I'm stitching this on regular, just flax, 40 count from Zweigart, and I'm using all of the called for DMCs, and so here's the half of this big rectangle in the middle that has the witches. This is where I'm at. So I do 2 strands every single day of my pre-cut DMC, and that gives me 2 strands is about 100 stitches. So in the last 2 weeks, yeah, the half of the box is there. So all of this stuff is what's been new this month. So that's where I'm at. So we're coming along. So here's the whole thing again. Well, let's just look at the witches for now. They're so cute. Torturing animals, that's not cute. You mean witches. So yeah, I love it. So I work on that every day. I actually owe 2 strands for it for today. I haven't stitched on it yet today. So there's that one. Okay, now I'm gonna talk about my 2 new starts. So on the first, no, it wasn't the first Monday in November, but one of the Mondays in November, Heidi from Whips and Kits and Michael from Davis Quilting Stitching, we all started Yuletide Welcome. So I started in the top left-hand corner, as I am wont to do. And this is Lakeside Vintage Sand Dune 32 count. And I had this piece that I picked up from Lynn's of Madison, and I just had never stitched anything on it. And the called for linen for Yuletide Welcome from Plumstreet is very, at least to me, it looks very warm sandy gold, which fits really well with Yuletide Welcome. So, or with Lakeside Sand Dune. So that's what I chose. But that does mean that I will be stitching this 2/2 on this 32 count to make the colors really punch out. So here is what I got done in that one day of stitching. This is a super fun project and I love stitching with my besties. Here are my flosses that I am using. This is not the original recipe. This is just what, if I had anything that was called for, and then if not, I put in stuff from stash. And then I threw in this super fun plum pudding. I picked a symbol that could bear the weight of a full Christmas colored floss from Cottage Garden Samplings. I just love how fun they play with color. So, is that gone in yet? I can't I don't think I've even got to put that in yet. So I don't remember what it's going to be. It's like a flower or something that I wanted to give a whole bunch of fun color. I also put in Pirate and Robin. This one is really fun. This is called Harvest Gold. And like, these makers are making all of this really cool floss. I want to use it, right? This would also be great for a monochromatic piece. This makes me think of Stitch and Gem of your gold, all gold piece that you just had a finish on that just looks amazing. And I think I have started putting it in, yeah, that little yellow in there, which is just a tiny bit of this. So anyway, this is super fun if you want to stitch this with us. We just, as you can see, barely got a start, so you could catch up really quickly. And we're going to be stitching on this all the way up till Christmas and having a jolly, jolly time. So, doesn't that look fun to stitch with? Oh, I love it. My other new start was unplanned because my girlfriend Heidi sent me Peace on Earth by Shakespeare's Peddler because I just gagged when I saw this pattern, and it is seriously the cutest. There is so much to love in this stitch. So she sent it, and she's like, and she sent me the whole kit. She sent the kit from, I think it's Country Sampler, and they sent it with just a plain raw 40 count. And Heidi and I decided that we wanted to stitch it on gray. So she's stitching it on Thundercloud, and I'm stitching it on Harbor, both from my shop Moonshine Stitchery. So we thought that the gray would be really pretty. I started top left, shocker, and Michael's stitching it with us too. And Heidi, I believe, is starting like top right, and Michael's starting bottom right or something like that. So we're all stitching in different spots. And this is how far I got in the one day. This is on 40 count, so totally different look than my other new start. And I am just loving it so far, loving it so much. So here is my paints. Here are my flosses, my paints, and she sent me all of the called for. So this is gonna be all the called for this time, and it does have some DMCs in there. We've got white and 611 and 3787. I love this color, it's so pretty. And then all of the rest of them are the called for. So thank you so much, Heidi. This was my Christmas present from Heidi. Surprise! And she sent it early so we can be stitching on it now. So, love it. So 40 count, 1/2 on Moonshine Stitchery Harbor. And that is my other new start. And it's just so sweet and it's so special. I love this stitch. So what you're seeing here is I've started the top of the roof. I think there's 2 houses in this pattern. I'll pop the picture right back up here. And I'm on the top, the littler of the 2, I think. So, very excited about that. I am not quite in the mode where I only want to stitch Christmas, but I'm getting there. And I will have so much fun when I get there. Okay, I'm gonna show you now a few whips that are not involved with games at all, and then I'll get into my game stitching. So, Jan from Hoop It Up with Jan and Laurel, I am a stitch nerd. We all started Dwelling Place 2 Thanksgivings ago. And here, let me just show you the flosses for this, and then I can set them down. Dwelling Place from Teresa Kogut. There's the colors. They're kind of patriotic looking. And I have been really trying to work on this, ladies. So look where I have gotten to. I'm doing pretty good, I think. So I've been stitching mostly in this top portion, right? And I was like, I still have half of this to go. I need to get down to that house. I want to start putting that house in. So I did. I popped down here. I started on this really cool like button flower. It's really, really cool. But then I got in part of these 2 birds so that I could hop down to this house. And Michael encouraged me. He was like, you can do it. Go for that house. So came down to the house and put a couple strands in, started this strand of that color of the house, and then took a pause because I needed to do some game stitching. But without Jan encouraging me to see how much I could get done before our Thanksgiving start this year, I might not have picked this back up, but I'm so glad that I did. I probably would call this like my focus piece this last week. Anytime I didn't have anything that I needed to get done for that day for a game, I pulled this out and put stitches on it. So this is a 36 count piece of Moonshine Stitchery linen. It's kind of like a dirty peach, like a peach mauve. And I'm using almost none of the called for colors, just pulled from Stash Based. There is a fly in here. We live kind of out in the country by horses, and sometimes a fly will make its way into the house. Even in winter, I am shocked. And so I apologize if that's buzzing around a little bit. So there's that. And I will continue putting some stitches in on this till Thanksgiving. And then further on in this video, I will show you the planned start I have with Laurel and Jan for this year, Thanksgiving. Woo! So I think in my last update, I was talking about how Great British Baking Show found a needle. Let's put it in this sleeve of this jacket. This is a very furry jacket. I'm gonna totally forget that this is here. Okay, can't put this here. It's just totally hiding in here now. Okay, I was talking about how I stitched 1,000 stitches for the winter, and I didn't know if I was going to put the 500 in for the 2 runner-ups. So I eventually decided that I was going to. So this was one person who made it to the finals but did not win. This I know from Plumstreet Samplers, and I believe what's new is these leaves up here. I think. It's been, like, I did this at the very beginning right after my last video, so it's been 2 full weeks, but I think it's this and maybe this. Oop. This is another piece of Moonshine Stitchery linen. This is, I believe, a 40 count, and it's the called for flosses on this one. So this one's gonna go away again, but it had so much fun playing during Great British Baking Show, which the new holiday bake-off is on Netflix, so I need to start that. I'm very excited. So I want to see if Oliver wants to watch that with me now that we're done with our regular season of stitching. So, and I still am not going to tell you who goes with what pattern, just in case you are like me last year and took a really long time to actually get around to watching that show. Just in case. I don't want to do any spoilers. Okay, and the other person who didn't win, but made it very far, was assigned to Consider the Lilies. And so this piece got 500 more stitches on it. This giant blanket of a project. So this is from Heartstring Samplery. It is on Newcastle flax that has like washes of pinky purple, just like a little bit, because I don't want to add too much color because this project has so many flosses. This is using all of the called for, is it weeks? And it's on 40 count. So I believe mostly I put in this moth in 500 stitches. This moth is so cool. I love it. The way those colors look together is awesome. And then I think I put some more in on this angel down here. But that was it for the 500 stitches. So there we go. So 500 stitches for me, the way that I do that, because I don't count my stitches, is it's 2, each strand of pre-cut floss is 50 stitches. So if I want to do 500, I need to do 10 strands of floss. And that's how I do it without having to like tediously count each stitch. It's just way easier. So I'm putting these projects back in my sampler bin. I have a bin for samplers, Christmas, Halloween/fall, summer, and then like a catch-all that doesn't apply to any of those things. And then I have a laundry basket inspired by Sarah's Stitchy Spot of all the stuff that I have like currently pulled for games and stuff in here that I can just easily find stuff for that week's time. So I don't remember if I had already put in all 1,000 stitches on this in the last update or if I still needed to get a few done. So I'll just show it. This is the person who won Great British Baking Show, and I got so much done on this during this game. So in my 1,000 stitches, I got this whole house done. So filled in all this black, put in this Demigorgon, started in on this Demigorgon. So those were where all those final stitches went. The time before, I had started putting in this pathing, which is gonna look so cool. But now this house is, I believe, totally done. There might be a stitch I'm missing, like I think right there at the base of that little guy. But I love this cat so much. So Heidi and I started this together, I think like right when we first started stitching things together. This was one of our first projects we picked to do together. This is a piece of 32 count white felt that I over dyed to give this really kind of spooky finish. And I'm trying to remember if I did, I think it's just one. Yeah, it's 1/2 on this 32 count because it's kind of thicker. So this one is gonna go away for a while now, and I really, really loved stitching on this. I think I saw somebody start this recently. I wonder if it was Eli from Oh Stitch Happens. Somebody started this recently. You're gonna love it, it's so fun. Okay, we're gonna move on from Great British Bake Off to Survivor. So I also have been playing the Survivor game. My version of it is if somebody gets the immunity win. So I didn't start playing this game till the tribes were merged all into one team and one main group. And whoever wins individual immunity gets 500 stitches, and if you go voted off, you get 500 stitches. So I don't remember if I told you guys, I think I did, but, oh, there's a needle in here. When I was assigning projects, I assigned this one specifically to the person I had high hopes would win the whole show. And then they went and got voted off 2 weeks ago. So I was so heartbroken. I really, really wanted this person to win. So this is Oh Joyous Day from Blackbird Designs. This is only like, I think this is one of only 2 Blackbird designs. No. Okay, the summer winter project that I have with Heidi and Michael. So okay, I guess I have 3. But I recently did, I think in the last video I put up a thing about what the designer is that I started the most from. So here are the flosses. These are pulled from Stash based on the DMC. So as you can see, almost none of them. If it's a face card, that means it's something that I've dyed. And then there's a lot of different things in here. So it's just really, really fun. So here's where I'm at. This is another piece of white felt fabric. This is 32 count, and this one I'm doing 2/2. Making these colors really vibrant and springy. So this, for that person's 500 stitches, I believe I did this across here. I put in these Smyrna crosses and then realized after I'd done it that I didn't need to skip the alternating one. I should have done it. So on the back, my thread is crossing over, and now I just have to do it again because I wasn't thinking. As you can see up here, you need a dot in every single triangle, but I spaced it. So I did those, and then I put in this over one up here. This is me, and this is my husband Tim, and there's like the wonky bending lettering. And then I can't remember if the pattern right now it has a date, but I feel like it should have a date, so I'll probably put the date we got married right there. So I love this one so much, but it's gonna go away till it gets assigned to something else. Sad, sad. They didn't even win any immunities or anything. They only got 1 stitchy time. The other project that got voted off already, so 3 people have been voted off since they merged, and this is the other project that's not gonna get any more stitching in Survivor, and this is Beloved by Running with Needles and Scissors. And I'm using the Call for DMCs with this one. This is stitched on Apothecary from Moonshine Stitchery. It's a really fun color. I just wanted to do something a little different with this. And so yeah, this is 40 count. And I still owe this one, I think 400, excuse me, not 400. 250 or 200 more stitches. Basically, I need to do 4 or 5 more strands of floss. So there's where I'm at. This is a lot of confetti in this border. And then it jumps around in here. So yeah, this is definitely it takes a lot of time stitching this one, but I do love it. So this is Beloved. I'm going to put a few more stitches in this and then put it away because they got voted out of Survivor. Okay, I'm such a fibber. When I don't reference my list before I start talking, I get confused on what the person did. Sorry, the person that got voted out was Coquelicots, which I had told you earlier. The person who won immunity was Beloved. So that person is still in the game. Phew. Okay, sorry. So actually this week, they let 2 people win immunity, 1 woman, 1 man. And so it happened to be that the person who won immunity last week also won immunity this week, but like shared it. And I decided I'm going to stitch 500 stitches for both of them, but I haven't put them in for this person yet for this week. So this person has their 500 stitches from last week. This is the Biedermeier sampler from GGR. Here are my flosses. Just so fun. Super, super fun. And as you can see, it's all a rainbow pulled from stash because that's what I like to do. I really have a mishmash from all different dyers. I love doing that. So this is such a fun stitch. This is on 46 count cream, just plain from Zweigart, because there's just so much going on in this sampler. So I don't even know what did I do for this. I think I pulled this border over more, this border over. I may have done more up here too, pulling it over. I just kind of like go wherever I'm feeling and just pull it over some more. But I didn't go down anymore this time. I don't think. So anyway, this is really, really fun. If you're thinking about starting a GGR and you don't want like, well, anyway, I was gonna say if you don't want a confetti scene, but there's still a lot of confetti going on in here because each of these flowers has like 6 or 7 colors. And then these bright violets are so beautiful too. But you just, if you love letters, there's so many different alphabets to stitch in this and it's so fun. So, like I said, I owe this one 500 more stitches. So this will, I'll show this again next week with my update wherever I'm going to put the 500 more stitches. I think I'll probably work on that today while I'm watching football with Tim. We watched the Steelers games and I haven't showed you any new stitching for the Steelers games because even though they won last game by a pretty good margin, none of the things that I stitched for happened. So Steph from Wild Fox Stitchery, I love her. Definitely go watch her channel and I'm going to be talking some more about her in just a minute. She is stitching like just kind of how I do for Survivor. They get 500 stitches if they win the game, 250 if they don't. She's playing for the Patriots. And I probably should have done that, but I didn't. Instead, I wanted to like focus on specific players and if they did specific things. So Jalen Warren is my guy. And every time he gets a touchdown, I stitch 100 stitches. He didn't get any in the last game. I stitched for TJ Watt getting a sack and for Joey Porter Jr. getting an interception, which he hasn't gotten any, I don't think, yet this year. So none of those things happened. So that's why you haven't seen that piece in a while. Dancing with the Stars, stitching. So what I do is I do 500 stitches for the couple who got the highest score that week, and that's it. I don't stitch for the person who goes home. So I do tell you who is assigned to which project for that. There was a big upset this week on that show, which I'll talk about in just a minute. So for this project, in my last video, I couldn't remember why I'd had this out to stitch on it. This is the project that I have assigned to Danny and Dylan, which the finals are next week, so this game is almost over. But whenever Danny and Dylan get the highest score, I put stitches into this. And 3 couples tied for highest score week before last, so I split it up and gave them each 200 stitches. So I put the 200 stitches right in here in the house. And this is Artsy Housewife Golden Delicious, stitched with my own flosses based on the DMC. And we won't spend too long on this because I just talked about it last time and I don't think there was a reason for it to come out last time. So there's that 40 count Moonshine Stitchery and not the called for. And then I can't remember if I stitched on this one for Alex and Val from last time. So I'll just quickly show this again. This is my Mirabilia, and I don't remember if they were in the top, but we're just gonna quickly show it for continuity's sake because they're still in the finals too. So this one could get some more work on it during this game, but it will also probably stay out for Christmas stitching. So I'm stitching with all the Call for flosses on Evergreen 32 count from Moonshine Stitchery. And so either what you're looking at is an addition of 20 or 200 stitches, or it's just the 500 I put in for them getting the top spot the week before. So we'll just quickly look at that. I love this one. I'm so obsessed. Okay, and then Anne MacFarlan also shared that top spot. This project is assigned to Whitney and Mark, who, if you've been watching my videos since I started this game, I called this team to be the winners of the whole thing. Come on, Floss. Okay, so this is by the Wishing Thorn. This is that really cool, almost spooky looking sampler. I think it's spooky looking. I'm stitching it with Mountain Mist. I have some more floss on order. So yeah, I'm almost done with that. This is what one skein of Weeks Mountain Mist looks like pretty much. So this one needed 200 stitches as well. So I believe I rounded out that bottom part of the border underneath there, brought it down and started putting in these letters. However, this is the upset. They have been the top couple for so long, and I don't think that their fans showed up to vote for them last week, and they went home. So it was shocking, but they won't be in the finals. So that's it for this one for now. So I don't know when you'll see this one out again, but I've had so much fun stitching on it, and here's where that game helped me get to. So this is 46 count Rhapsody from Moonshine Stitchery with Mountain Mist from Weeks Dye Works, and this is a Wishing Thorn pattern that I love. And it's gonna go pretty much all the way down here, I think. So, and that's the width of it right to there. So love it. All right, last stitchy game piece. Okay, so this team won the highest score by themselves this last Dancing with the Stars episode, and this is Whitney and Robert Irwin, and they are now my front runners to win. I really believe that they will win because he is very charismatic, a wonderful human, has tons of fans, and Whitney is an amazing choreographer. So although Danny is also a very, very good choreographer, so we'll see. One of the newer pros this year, Ezra, he's also just made the finale for the first time. So I'm really, really excited for him as well. He's with Jordan, the Olympic gymnastic professional. So anyway, this is Jed Xstitch Blueberry J. I love this project. This is also being stitched on 32 count Evergreen from Moonshine Stitchery. And I'm doing all of the called for flosses on this. As you can see, I've started putting in one of the blueberries right here, I think. So there's 500 new stitches on this since the last time you saw it. So I came in and popped in this color up here. There's two specialty flosses in here, but I think that you could skip them. This is one of them, and this is another one, I think. And they just don't have enough variegation that I think you need to fret over whether you get it or not. So there's my progress. And I think for next week, so Elaine and Alan are still in it. They haven't got any stitches from me during this game because they've never gotten the top score, but they made it to the finals. And Jordan and Ezra have got a little bit of stitching. If for some reason Elaine and Alan win, I'll have to pick a totally different project to stitch 1,000 stitches in. But whoever wins next week, on Tuesday night is when the finals is I will just give them 1,000 stitches, and I'm not going to stitch on any of the other people like I did for Great British Bake Off. That's just too much, and I want to get into Christmas stitching. So I'm going to leave these all in my whip basket. I believe, and we'll see if I'm right, that Whitney and Robert are going to get the 1,000 stitches. So we shall see. But I'm very excited. This has been a super awesome season. Okay, so that is all of my Stitchy. I'm going to talk about plans. So I'm going to continue with my Stitchy games. Dancing with Stars will be over next week, so that'll eliminate like a lot of things that are going to be in the running or works right now. So I'll continue with those games. And with Dancing with the Stars ending, I have a new game that I'm going to start. So I'm going to tell you about that in just a second. But my other plan is to start Serendipity from Teresa Kogut. So this is my Thanksgiving start, 2025 Thanksgiving with Jan and Laurel. And Serendipity looks like this. And we are stitching it on Felicity from Moonshine Stitchery. This is a special linen that I created for this project. And it's kind of, it's similar to Original Recipe with some very soft gray modeling going through. So it's really, really cool. And this is what's gonna go on it. So this is gonna be started this Thursday. And I'm very, very excited. I'm stitching it on 40 count. Laurel's stitching it on 36 count. And Jan is stitching it on 56 count. So I wonder what flosses she's stitching it with. Maybe Soie or 103. Would that even work? I don't know, Jan, but I'm really excited to see what you're gonna do. So that is our start. Aren't these colors just so delicious? Oh, I love Teresa Kogut. So when I was at Lindsay Madison, I grabbed all of these flosses, and I believe that she calls for some DMC, and so I traded them out for flosses that I picked while I was there. So there's a few things in here that aren't called for, but yeah. So I think I have some more Felicity to add to the shop. I'll have to take a look and see if you're interested in this color. Okay, my other plan, well, I do also have a plan to put more stitches in on my hometown sal. This is what it looked like the last time you saw it from Teresa Kogut, because that finishes up this December, and I got my question answered. Her next sal is starting in April. If you want to do one of these like mystery where it builds each month sals with her, I'm really excited to see what the theme is gonna be. But we do get a little bit of a break. So I wanna have that finished by the end of the year. We'll see if I'm motivated enough to do that instead of Christmas stitching. Okay, my other plan involves the Threadwalker Saga game created by Steph from Wild Fox Stitchery. She is amazing, and I love her channel and all of her projects, and she's so fun, and she made this game. So if you're familiar with Dungeons and Dragons, where you roll to like do stuff in the game, I have played versions of it with my son, but I'm not very knowledgeable about Dungeons and Dragons, to be fair. But it's one of the games that he likes playing, so I'm like, sure, I'll play that with you, you know what I mean? So I've never really gotten into creating like a whole character for that game, because we've played the ones where it's been like pre-built for you. But basically, you're gonna be playing a game where you're gonna be rolling a dice to like see how many stitches you need to do and level up your character. So I first had to decide what project I wanted to do, and I've decided I'm going to do my heritage sampler for Tim's mother, my mother-in-law Karen. It's this one over here from Needlework Press. It's H. Purdy, 1822. This is the piece that I've decided. It's my red sampler for my mother-in-law, and I'm using Watermelon, which is like a neon red blended with pinks, from Pirate and Robin. I love this floss. It looks so awesome. I'm stitching on Streisand 40 count, and here's where I'm at. So I was excited to pull this one out for this game because I really want to get a lot more work on it, and this is like an ongoing game. It's not going to end when like a TV show ends or something, or the Steelers season ends or something like that. So here's how far I got when I started it. So now you know what project I'm going to do. So I'm doing 1/2 on this Moonshine Stitchery Streisand, which is, if you're looking for like a goldy tan from me, that's this one. And if you want something with more, like if you want a more dynamic modeling situation, this is similar to Landslide Intense, but this is Landslide Intense nearly without the heavy modeling. So, okay, there's the piece. So this is the cutest thing ever, and Stephanie is so creative. So I think she said her son helped her with this, designing this game, but this tells you all about it. You need to join her Facebook group, which I'll put down below, or if you just go to Stephanie's channel, you can, and I link everybody that I talk about down below, you can click over to her channel and you can find the video where she talks all about it. So, so this tells you about, this is like kind of the lore. If you want to like, if this appeals to you, like getting into kind of the role playing aspect of this, I think you'll really, really like this. But she gives you, this is kind of like a little bit of lore, and then this gives you like a little bit of the rules about rolling. So if you're wondering about any of it, you can reference her video where she goes into great detail about it. So, but you got to join the Facebook group to be able to download this material. So these are the different kinds of characters you can choose. So you've got the bard, the thief, and that's what I'm going to be. I just had Tim help me pick the game. It's called like Karis Vale. My mother-in-law's name is Karen, so I think her name's going to be Karis Vale, and she's a stitch thief. Quick fingers, quiet stitches. When I play World of Warcraft or these kind of games, I like to be a thief character. It's just really fun for me to like sneak around. The weakness for this character is tends to hoard rare floss and forget where they hide it. That's hilarious. So anyway, there's this whole thing where you can pick what kind of character you're going to be. So this is another example of, you know, just have fun. You just have fun with it. And I know that there's all this extra stuff about characters and like the lore of it. But really at the heart of it, it's just focusing in on a whip and using this as a means to really get a lot of progress in on it. So this is where you build your character. So I'm going to put Karis Vale in here, her class, which project it is, and then you can like attach a picture to here of your character. You can create a little backstory if that's your thing, put some goals in. And then she has, this is the thing where you're gonna actually track like how much you level up in the game. So as you do 100 stitches, you mark it off. So it's kind of like a reading checklist too. So 100 stitches, I'd mark it off as I go. And then so you move here to here to here. And when you get to the first colored item, this light gray is a new start is trying to distract you. And then you have to roll a dice. That's a big one for me. A new start is trying to distract you. If you roll an odd, you have to add 100 more stitches. If you roll an even, you get to minus 50 stitches from your 100 for that day. So see how cute that is? Like it's an adventure as you go, and wherever you're at, you find a new like thing that you have to do. Isn't she the cutest? Steph is just amazing. So the darkest gray is you met a monster. There's a thing you have to do. This one is a goblin steals your needle. 10 times the dice roll. So anyway, your thread gets hopelessly tangled, things like that. It's just so, so cute. So I'm gonna be starting this as soon as Dancing with the Stars stitching finishes. And then when you get to a monster, you're gonna fight these monsters in order. Like the time that she spent making this, I'm just amazed by her. So here's the monster, and then it talks about the monster, and then what you have to do in consequence with your rolling. And you roll the dice when you're fighting the monster. And then here's what you can do to track the things that you've done in the game if you want to like detail down what you've done. So I love it. I'm gonna be starting it next week, or this coming up week actually. This isn't gonna go up till Tuesday. So basically tomorrow I'll start this after I stitch for Dancing with the Stars. So that is a big plan that I'm very, very excited about. Go follow Steph and join in the game. It sounds really fun. So lastly, I'm going to talk about some books that I read, and I do have a few. So I'm going to go in backwards order. That's just easy for me. The one that I just started is The Nightingale from Kristen Hanna. I've read The Women from her, which I loved. I read Four Wings, which I just liked. So we'll have to see how much I like this one. This one, it sounds like it's going to be about World War II with a French family. So we'll see. Like I said, I really haven't read that much at all. Okay, before that, I listened to When She Returned by Lucinda Berry. This one is... there's this woman and she gets kidnapped from a Target, and she returns 10 years later, and she's basically been with a cult the whole time. And her husband has a new wife, and her daughter is almost an adult now. And just it's kind of like the whole unraveling of that whole story and everything that happened. And there are some twists, and I thought it was good. I gave it a 4. If that sounds fun to you and you want to read about culty stuff and brainwashing and some mysteries and like how her family is dealing with things afterwards, and the new wife situation is so interesting. So I gave it a 4. I thought it was a pretty good thriller. Before that, I read We Used to Live Here, which is probably one of the scariest things I've read all year. Not because it's like gory or like monsters or anything, but basically there's this couple, Eve and Charlie, and they are flipping this house like up in the mountains in Oregon. And one night this family shows up to their cabin, and they're like, "Hi, I used to live here when I was a kid. I was hoping that I could show my kids around your house." And Eve is super uncomfortable, but is terrible with confrontation, like me. And she decides to let him in. And then things ensue, and things start getting really creepy. And there's a little bit of supernatural stuff. I don't want to say too much, but I thought it was very scary because it was very trippy, and people start to wonder like what's real and what's not real. And I thought it was really good. So I give that one like a 4 or 4.5. So that's We Used to Live Here by Marcus Kluwer. I'm not sure. Anyway. Before that, I read The Perfect Divorce by Geneva Rose. This one is after The Perfect Marriage. And I think I like this one about the same, maybe even a little bit more, because there were more that you knew of this time. Characters that were nefarious, that you were like, what are you up to? Than in The Perfect Marriage. So I thought it was pretty good. I don't really want to say too much about the second one because it will kind of give stuff away about the first one. And the first one had a really good reveal at the end. So anyway, there's like everybody in this book are kind of bad guys, and you're just kind of seeing how they're trying to get one over on each other. And I'm sorry, I can't say too much more because, like I said, I don't want to ruin The Perfect Marriage for you. But if you want a thriller where it's a murder mystery and, like I said, people like trying to get one up on each other, I thought it was a good time. So 4.25 maybe-ish. Before that, I read Not Another Love Song. This is by Julie Soto. This is the same author where I read the love story about there's a wedding planner and a florist. If you remember me talking about that like 3 or 4 months ago, this is another one by that author. And I would say spice level was like a 3 out of 5. It's been a minute since I read this one, but it's definitely not closed door. So heads up on that. And this one is about 2 musicians, and they're about like child prodigies. And they both play for the Pops, the New York Pops, I think, Manhattan Pops Orchestra. And if you can imagine, so I am a musician, but I'm not this kind of musician, but the author theorized like what it would be like creating music like as an intimate encounter between 2 sexual partners. And so talking about like the experience of it while they're writing music together during that act. So parts of this were a little bit like you have to like make your brain go there, and if that sounds too cheesy for you, you probably won't like this. But I liked it. I gave it probably like a 3.5. I mean, it's not like, oh my gosh, you have to go out and read this right now. But if you are a strings musician, specifically the violin and the cello are most featured in this book. And if you've ever kind of like thought around that realm, you might really like this. So anyway, I thought it was good. It was cute, quick, cute little read. And I think that rounds us out because the last one I read was Margot's Got Money Troubles. Basically, that's about a young single mother. She starts an OnlyFans account to make money because no one in her family will like help her trying to get childcare while she's being a waitress. She had to drop out of school, and then kind of like the everything that happens. And this book kind of felt to me like a retelling of the Scarlet Letter a little bit for our times. And I thought it was very interesting. There are some terrible characters in this book, like just really atrocious people. And yeah, just people that are really not thinking before they do something that messes up another person's life or really throws a wrench in things. And it's just like, really? Really? I think I gave this book like a 3. I heard it was going to be a lot funnier than it was. It was just okay for me. So that's everything I read in the last couple weeks. And so like I said, right now I'm reading The Nightingale. If you've read it, let me know in the comments below, or tell me what you're reading right now, what your favorite work in progress is right now. If you want to start Serendipity with us on Thursday, that would be so fantastic. Oh, I didn't tell you what's on my nails today. This is Maybe It Just Needs a Little Love. Our Black Friday, the Moonshine Many Black Friday sale this year is themed on the Charlie Brown Christmas movie. And so this is the doorbuster. It's a $6 doorbuster during the Black Friday event, which starts on Wednesday if you want to come shop nail polish. This is our best sale of the year. It's a 30% off, and there's gifts with purchases and lots of fun stuff happening. So you can join the Moonshine Manny Fans Facebook group to learn all about that. Or if you check out my Moonshine Manny Instagram account, that stuff is down below if you want to know any more about my indie nail polish brand. So that's gonna be it. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you back in 2 weeks. Okay, take care. Bye.